Hey, hey, hey! Nice to see you guys. Today we are going to work on some eighth notes and we are going to work on some dotted notes and we're just going to have some fun with counting. So first things first, let's look at number 30 in your book. So if you notice on number 30, we have a whole bunch of quarter notes. Then we have some eighth notes followed by eighth rests. So if you think about it, usually we see two eighth notes together, kind of like these two would be. Here we'd have four eighth notes together. Two eighth notes, so those two eighth notes are equal to one quarter note. They combine. T, T is equal to one ta. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. So if we have an eighth note and an eighth rest, those two combined are also equal to one quarter note. T, T, T. Can you hear that little silent T that I'm making? T, T. So whenever we're saying this kind of rhythm, let's say T, T. Kind of whisper the second, that little rest, okay? So let's take a look at number 30 together. Here we go. Let's do number 30. 1, 2, here we go. Ta, 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 ta. T, 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 ta, ta, T, 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 T. T, T, ta. Rest. Good. All right, so now we're going to go down and we're going to look at number 33. Number 33 is going to be very similar. The only difference is that we're going to swap which comes first. We're going to have the eighth rest come before the spoken T. T, T. Okay? So this rhythm gets a little trickier because we can't say it right on the dot, and we love things that always have a steady pulse. Like our heart rate is steady, our breathing rate is steady. We like to have that steady pulse. So this makes it a little tiny bit trickier. So we're going to do our best, but let's take a look here at number 33. So first things first, let's do the second measure, okay? So the second measure goes like this. Ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. One more time. Ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. Okay, let's try the whole thing. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, ti, ti, ta, 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 ti, 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 ta, ti, ta. Good. Let's grab our instruments and try playing it with some instruments. I'm going to play the cello, but you can play whatever instrument you've got there, the instrument you're supposed to play. Let's try first number 30. Number 30 to start. Number 30. All right. You can do your bow. You can do plucking, whatever you prefer to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and use my bow because I can. So let's give a try to number 30 first. This is the one where the spoken T comes before the T that is silent. Here we go. Let's try it. Number 30. Get a good bow hold. Get yourself all situated, ready to go. Here we go. Number 30. 1, 2, here we go. Nice. All right, now let's try number 33. You may notice that I played the quarter notes a little longer, and the eighth notes they were almost like they were short quarter notes. T, 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 T. They were just kind of short quarter notes. So let's try number 33 now. We're going to swap the spoken and the silent rest. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. If that was tricky for you, stop for just a moment and just try to play measure 2. Measure 2 sounds like this. One more time. Pause the video real fast. Practice that and then come right back. Ready? Pause it. Okay, hi, you're back. All right, so we're going to do one more thing before we're done with this video. We are going to turn the page. We're on number 37. So if you remember on 37, do you remember what this little line underneath it means, that little curved line? It's a tie. So if you remember here, you can see here another tie. So the tie makes these two into one longer note. So we have a ta, we have a quarter note that's worth 1 beat, and we have an eighth note, which is worth half of a quarter note, 1 T. So this turns into ta, T, ta, T, ta, 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 T, ta, ta. So basically, instead of having a silent T here, we're just tying it in so that it just becomes a little longer, but it's the same sound as that ta, T, ta, ta. It's just that instead of having a little breath in there, we're just going to keep going. So again, ta, T, ta, ta. Then over here, we have a dotted quarter note. So follow along on the screen as I describe what a dotted quarter note is like. Okay, so we're going to look at some notes and we are going to add some dots to these notes. So let's start with this half note, okay? So the half note is worth 2 beats, right? So we have 2 beats. If we were to put a dot next to it, what we would do is we would think, okay, so this by itself is worth 2 beats. The dot is going to be half of whatever this note is. So what is half of 2? Half of 2 would be 1. So we're going to add 2 plus 1. We're adding a half of this number. And 2 plus 1 equals 3. So a dotted half note would be equal to 3 beats. Then over here we have a quarter note. A quarter note is equal to 1 beat. If we add a dot, we add half of whatever this note is. So what is half of 1? This can be a little tricky, so you can also think of it as a big circle, like a pie. If we have half of the pie, that means we have 2 halves. So all it is half of 1 would be 1/2. So 1 plus 1/2 would be 1 and 1/2. So a dotted quarter note is equal to 1 1/2 beats. Then over here we have an eighth note. So this one gets a little tricky because an eighth note is equal to half a beat. So what would be a half of a half? So again, here we have our pie. We split it in half. So now we have 2 halves. What if we split one of those halves in half? How much is one of these worth? Well, we could split it into 4 and only 1 is colored in. So we'd have 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So what would be 1/2 plus 1/4? Well, we could make this into 2 over 4. And here we have 1 over 4. So 2 over 4 plus 1 over 4. 2 plus 1, 3. And then we just keep the same denominator and we leave it at 4. So a dotted eighth note would be equal to 3/4 of a beat. That gets tricky, doesn't it? So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. All right, so now we're back. Let's see if we can do number 37, speaking it, okay? Here you go. Let's try it. 1, 2, here we go. Ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, ta. Ta, ti, ta, 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 ti, ti, ta. Nice. So let's try playing that on our instrument. Here we go, number 37. We're going to play it on our instrument. All right, here we go. The 37. 1, 2, here we go. Nice job. All right, let's do it one more time. Here we go. One more time. Number 37. 1, 2, here we go. Nice job, you guys. All right, I can't wait to hear you play some dotted notes.